Joe Biden had a meeting with civil rights leaders. Ryan Grimm was able to obtain the video and the audio. Here's the portion. This is one of the portions that blew up. It's Biden talking about executive orders.
And so there's some things that I'm going to be able to do by executive order. I'm not going to hesitate to do it. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do what used to, Benita, you probably used to get angry with me during the debates when you'd have some of the people you were supporting say, on day one, I'm going to executive order to do this. Not within the constitutional authority. I am not going to violate the Constitution. Executive authority that my progressive friends talk about is way beyond the bounds. And as one of you said, maybe you, Reverend, now, whether it's far left or far right, there is a Constitution. It's our only hope, our only hope. And the way to deal with it is where I have executive authority, I will use it to undo every single damn thing this guy has done by executive authority. But I'm not going to exercise executive authority where it's questioned.
This is a white flag, ladies and gentlemen. This is a white flag. This is Joe Biden saying, no, I'm not going to do every single thing I possibly can through executive order. That's what this is. Because we already told you there's a David Dayen article, great David Dayen article about how he actually has the authority, if he wanted, to give everybody health care through Medicare, through executive order. There's a good legal argument for that using a provision of the Affordable Care Act. And he's not going to do that. He brings up the example of, banning assault weapons. He says he's not going to do that. But I think what this gets to is there will be things where he actually does have the authority where he won't do it, and his excuse will be, oh, there are constitutional limits on me, so I can't do that. But again, you can find a legal expert who gives you a very solid argument that you can have a more powerful executive branch. FDR used executive power all the time, and that's how we got a lot of the things that he did done, especially in a situation where Congress is going to be incredibly obstructionist. I mean, you have to do that. If you want to get anything done, you have to do that. So this is a white flag. It really is a white flag from Joe here. And the thing that should pop in your mind as we talk about this is this famous quote to wealthy donors, nothing will fundamentally change. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Nothing will fundamentally change. He wants to rely more on Congress, but he knows it's going to be hard to get stuff through Congress. So to the extent they get anything done, it's going to have to be Republican approved, and Republican approved would be like a grand bargain to cut Social Security and Medicare as they pretend like they're not cutting it and they're just reforming it. I fear Biden will do something like that. And now I know that he's not going to do everything he possibly can through executive order. I mean, the right thing to do, given the scale and the scope of our problems, do as much as you possibly can through executive order and make them take you to court. Make the Republicans take you to court. And whatever the decisions are, they are. But you're on record as, I'm the person who's trying to give everybody health care during a pandemic, for example. But he's not going to do that. And it's so sad because it's the reminder, the stark reminder that he is who we thought he was all along. He is who we thought he was. We thought he was a moderate Republican. We thought that, he wasn't going to be an FDR type president. And there were articles, the media flat out lying to us, oh, he'll be the most progressive president since FDR. He's making a right-wing argument about, I can't do all these things through executive order because of the Constitution. It prevents me from doing it. The Constitution can be interpreted 1,000 different ways. And if you care more about actually fixing the country, doing the best for the American people, then you act and you find a convincing legal rationale and you argue for it relentlessly. He's admitting, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to err on the side of caution, do less through executive order, just claim constitutional limits, and sit back and try to get everything through Congress that I can, knowing I'm going to fail most of the time. This is going to be a terribly ineffectual presidency, and I have to say, I think we're likely to see the rise of a new kind of Trump, a more effective kind of Trump, because there will be a backlash to terrible governance that's basically non-existent at a time where we need good governance. We need something to fight back against this economic depression, what will become a housing crisis, a pandemic. You need a strong, centralized, powerful government to address these problems. And he's basically admitting here, when it comes to executive power, I will not flex as much as I probably can. And we're really screwed, man. I hate to say it, but it's true.